Hi, my name is Emma, and I'm about to pull a Sarah. Anyway, I don't want to get in trouble. Hi, my name is Emma, and I'm doing the Tom Hanks tag today. I actually filmed this yesterday, and my camera deleted it. So I was like, take two, I'm going to do this right for Emily Jean. I'm going to, like, do my makeup and wear an outfit that, you know, isn't what I would wear to school normally. Because, like, I love fashion a lot. I grew up wearing crazy clothes to high school. I was that girl who wore pink corduroy pants and, like, suspenders, literally, and bow ties and everything. And then college hit, and I had 8 a.m.s, and I just wore jeans and t-shirts. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I actually put an effort, but not many. Not much. Doesn't happen a lot on the weekdays. Anyway, though, I'm ready to do this. I'm beret up. Let's do the Tom Hanks tag. It's funny, my last video was about tag videos, and I'm doing another tag video. So, yeah, tag. Alright, first question. Big. A book you read when you were young that was intended for a more mature audience. I mean, Dr. Seuss has its moments. BFG. It's kind of creepy. There really isn't any books that I read as a kid that were, like, not intended for my age group, but I watched a lot of movies that were not intended for my age group. None of them effed me up in any way, maybe, that I know of. But I grew up with 2 siblings way older than me, so my parents were pretty chillax. So, for example, some of my favorite movies at the age of 6 were Bridget Jones' Diaries, The Royal Tenenbaums, which is where I get a lot of my fashion sense. What else? Independence Day, of course. There are more. And funny enough, those are still 3 of my favorite movies, so not the most appropriate for children, but whatever. Next, Forrest Gump. Books are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. What book did you pick up not knowing anything about? The book I just finished, which is White Cat by Holly Black. Pretend it's right here. I don't have it with me. I read that for Read-A-Rama, and I never knew anything about it. I'd read Holly Black's Tithe, I don't know how to say that, in high school, and I really didn't like it, so I just sort of avoided it, and then I got White Cat a million years ago, and I was like, I'm going to read it, and I actually really enjoyed it, and I didn't know anything about it, so, except for there was, you know, a white cat involved. Okay, Sleepless in Seattle. Last book to keep you up late sleeplessly reading. Probably Freakonomics and Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. There are other books, but I picked these because I read these a couple years ago, and I don't know. I don't talk a lot about nonfiction. Words are hard today. Freakonomics is an economics book. I think a lot of people have heard it. It's by the Stevens. I wish the Stevens had a band called the Stevens. The Economic Stevens. The Freaky Stevens. I'm amazing. Anyway. Women as Strong as Hell. Kimmy Schmidt. Yeah, so I stayed up late reading that. I also read the sequel, not as good. And Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, which actually lived in Savannah for a year, and this book is set in Savannah, and it's a nonfiction book. It's very good, and if you haven't read it, I would give it a go. Give it a go. It has a good plot factor. So it's cool to read this because I could, like, go to the places where it mentioned. Toy Story, a book that you plan to share with any offspring you create. Definitely Chronicle of Foretold by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Actually, this book is really good, but I wouldn't want my children reading it until they're much older. I would say it's too real. I would say Percy Jackson, of course Harry Potter, which Miss Emily mentioned, but Percy Jackson by Rick Riordan. She brought up Series of Fortunate Events. I'm not a big Series of Fortunate Events fan, really. Didn't really like it. Controversial opinion, I know. I remember my elementary school teacher, reading it when I was in 3rd grade and me being like, I hate this. Why are all these bad things happening? I don't think this is funny. And sort of that opinion has stuck with me. So I get why people like it. I do. I just don't like it. You've Got Mail, a book you heard about on the internet and where you heard about it from. so many books, like a bazillion books. Most of the books I read nowadays. Before I used to get my book ideas from my library because I worked in my high school library. So, I'm gonna go with, I just picked one. I'm gonna go with Ancillary Justice, which is Sarah. I learned this from Sarah. A lot of physical comedy happening today. Not really. Castaway. You can only bring one book on a desert island. What would it be? The Martian by Andy Weir. I feel like that's self-explanatory. Next, Cloud Atlas. What book did you have high expectations for you that didn't quite meet them? So many. Let's make everyone hate me right now. We were liars. We were lighters. We were liars. Blug. Meant to be blug. Divergent blug. It was like a little bit better blug. What else? I'm drawing Wuthering Heights, blug. Love Jane Eyre way more. The Bone Season, blug. I feel like there's more. Cinder, blug. Eleanor and Park, blug. That's probably all my blug books. My blug books. Anyway, my favorite Tom Hanks movie, BT Dubs, is probably Joe vs. the Volcano. If you've never seen that, go watch it right now. It's so good. So good. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Bye. Bye.